Hey, good afternoon. I'm Rob Moen with the Moen Group at Keller Williams First. I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine that does a ton of mortgages for our clients, our new construction homes, Todd Murawski with Dart Bank. Good deal. So Todd and I have been trying to figure out ways to help our clients navigate the new construction process. And we thought that we'd just take some of the questions that we hear over and over again and address them. So if you are considering a new home in 2024 or in the future, you'll have a good idea of questions you should be asking as you're navigating the building process. So we are at the Office of Big Sky Development, custom builder in southeastern Michigan, one of the top 20 builders in southeastern Michigan, actually. And they build some really nice houses. So let's get started with the questions. Todd, one of the biggest questions I get is people, they're really hesitant to start the loan process because they think they might have something going on that they need to fix, and they don't want you to pull their credit and damage their credit more. Is there something we can do to help them out with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as Benjamin Franklin always said, failing prepares, preparing to fail. And the first step that we need to go ahead and do always is get pre-approved. One of the things we do different than a lot of other lenders out there is we do a soft pull credit report. The main reason what the soft pull credit reports do, it gives us an idea of what exactly is there on your credit report, but it doesn't affect your credit scores. So it actually gives us that insight, and then we can guide you what you need to go out and do. So it's a great process, good start.
Okay, so the answer to that question is no, it's not going to ding their credit if they call you to try and get things started.
That's exactly right. There's no credit ramifications to be able to do so, but it allows us to go ahead and see what is exactly there, so you can figure out. Yeah.
You get the clear picture and can get them on track.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
I got a question for you. When it comes to like new construction homes, do they normally come with a home warranty?
Yes. In Michigan, builders are required to give a 1-year home warranty on all their homes, which pretty much covers the entire home, with the exception of, if you kick a hole in your wall, that's not going to be covered by a home warranty. So yes, to answer your question, yes, they do come with a 1-year warranty. Manufacturer warranties also get transferred along. So if those manufacturer warranties are longer than a year, they're going to get that coverage through the manufacturer. Now, one of the reasons we're sitting here in Big Sky Development's office is Big Sky Development does way more than the state mandated warranty. They include a 10-year warranty on all of their homes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, to kind of go along with that question, let's just say in the wintertime, someone's going through and they're putting air conditioning unit on. Really, you can't test to see if that's opening. What happens if that's installed and then later summertime comes and it's not necessarily working? Is that warranty still, is that part of the warranty, or is it regards to the functionality, does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. On a new build home, a lot of times builders will not install the air conditioners until it's over 65 degrees outside. But yes, if there was one installed and you couldn't do the inspection in the wintertime, as long as it was within that first year, it should be covered. So you should be just fine.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay. Gosh, so many good questions here. Are there different kinds of construction mortgages?
Oh, excellent question. The answer to that is yes. There's actually one-time closed construction, and we also have a two-time closed construction. Rob, one of the things, two-time closed construction is a little bit more risk. And there's really a small quantity of people who would really want to do the two-time closed construction. One, you're building the house, you're putting the funds aside, but then once the construction period is done, you either have to pay that loan off with your own personal cash, or you have to go ahead and refinance that. And that puts you vulnerable to whatever the market conditions are. One of our most popular products is a one-time closed construction loan, which basically allows you to purchase the land, also go ahead and do your construction draws, put all your construction cost into an escrow account with your name on it for the sole purpose of building the home, and then we close on the end mortgage. The advantage to that is that you get to lock in at today's interest rates versus waiting to see what happens 12 months down the road. So if the rates are higher 12 months down the road, you're locked in, you're taken care of. But what makes us a little bit more unique than other lenders is we have a float down option. That means that basically once you're locked in And when the house is done completed, you have a window period where you can modify your loan. So if interest rates are lower, you get that lower rate, so you kind of get the best of both worlds with you on that. So, so to answer your question, basically the one-time closed construction is the most popular, but we also have a two-time.
Okay. I know that's one of the biggest concerns I hear from people coming through our new construction homes is, hey, I don't want to start right now because I want to wait for the rates to go down. It sounds like you have that handled, so it's not an issue at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, in my opinion, is we don't know what the future is going to be. But if your end goal is to go ahead and build another house or build a house and be ready for 12 months down the road, or whatever that time period is, now is the time to be able to do it, because lock yourself in, secure it. Yeah. And as the market and the Feds are talking, they're predicting for the rates to drop, which could happen. You might as well take advantage of that when the time happens. But if life happens and it doesn't drop, you're protected.
Okay. Very good.
With construction, I know on the real estate side, I get asked, what happens if someone has a construction contract and they want to change the floor plan? Have you ever had a client go ahead and want to change the
yes. It's a lot easier to do before we start building the house. I know that's one of Big Sky Development's really strong suits, is they're able to modify our home plans. So I get that an awful lot. Someone will look at a floor plan and say, hey, this primary bedroom isn't quite the size that I need it. Can we make that a little bit bigger? Absolutely. When we're in the planning stages, we can make those kind of modifications. Now, after we start building the house, there might be an option to make some changes, but more times than not, the builder's going to tell you no. Once we start building the house, that's the house you're going to get. Now, that is a great question to ask if you're talking to other builders besides Big Sky Development, because a lot of builders do not like to change their floor plans.
Right.
Yeah.
From the lender standpoint, not to pony up on that same exact question, is typically once when the mortgage is put aside, those funds are allocated for the house that is intended to be built based on those contracts.
Right.
But one of the things that makes us a little bit unique here at Dart Bank is we do allow a contingency reserve. So if you do have additional upgrades, you want to change your house, do minor modifications, and those are increasing your value or even keeping their value the same, we actually can put funds aside and protect them so they can have money, like a slush fund, I guess you could say, to be.
So like if they wanted to add something as they're building the house, the money's already there. They don't have to go sell a kid or something else to get the money for it.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like a slush fund of, let's say, $10,000, and if those funds are not used, it's a principal reduction.
Okay.
So it's not money you can get cash back in your pocket, but you can actually do at modification time, reduce your principal with those funds not being used for that period of time. So gives a little bit of that sense of security, especially when somebody's not sure, what kind of windows you want, or maybe you want to change your kitchen upgrade or something like that. That's some of the stuff that we can do to help protect the customer.
That's a pretty good idea. That's a great tool, Todd. Okay.
Which, follow up on another question on that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do buyers know what material is being used in a house, like windows per se?
So most builders will have a standard feature list that they include in all their homes. Mm-hmm. Big Sky Development takes it to the 10th level, where they're going to actually outline the type of windows, like we use in Geldwin windows, one of the best vinyl windows on the market. They'll specify like a Carrier 96% efficient furnace and HVAC system, or Kohler plumbing. It's really up to the buyer or their agent to make sure that it's crystal clear on what they're getting in their house. I have seen some standard feature lists with builders where they'll just say, we're going to give you a furnace. Well, we all know there's a big difference between an entry-level furnace and a premium Carrier 96 plus efficient furnace system. So you're going to want to make sure it's outlined, but to answer your question, that should all be on a standard feature list or definitely in the builder's contracts.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
Yep. Okay. So I have a lot of clients will come to me and they'll say, we want to build a new house, but we don't have any extra money in our pocket, but we own our house that we're living in free and clear. Can they move forward and start a new construction home without selling that house that they're living in?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, and there's in today's time that is actually very common, where a lot of people work very hard and they pay down in their existing mortgage that they have, or they just because of the market conditions, there's a lot of equity built into that.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, one of the advantages, one of the things we do have is we have a bridge loan.
Okay.
Bridge loan is basically very similar to like a home equity line, but a bridge loan is used and intended as a short-term loan that is there to take money out to use for down payment for purchase of another loan. The advantage of that is it's just like taking an advance on the sale of your home. So once you sell your house, that loan gets paid off.
Okay.
Payments are very affordable. They're interest only, so it keeps that payment margins very low. You know, and so to give you an idea, typically, if someone was to pull $50,000 out on a bridge loan, you're looking right around about $300 or less on a monthly payment on there, just to give an average.
And that gets the ball rolling on their new house, and
it's a great way, a versatile alternative of having to move twice.
Yeah.
You know, of course, you know, someone has to qualify for both loans and the qualifications of that period, but that's where you come in and we'll guide you on that point to make sure you're there.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
You know, this is a great question that came across. Does a ranch cost more than a two-story?
I hear that question all the time, and everyone comes in and they have a price point in mind, and they want a great big huge ranch house. And yeah, ranches do cost a little bit more. The main reason is you have a bigger footprint for the home to sit on. So the builder's going to excavate a bigger hole in the ground. They're going to use a lot more cement to make the foundation, and you just have a bigger footprint of the house. So that does cost a little bit more versus when you're building a two-story house, your main floor and the basement size is about half the size as a ranch would be.
Yeah.
So you have less excavation and less cement. So yes, you are going to spend a little bit more for a ranch house. Now, a lot of people are thinking it's like $100,000 difference for a ranch house versus a two-story home being the same size, and that's not true. Mm-hmm. But our best advice to all of our clients is let's start with the house that you really think you want, and let's see if we can make that work. And if we can't, then we'll move on to something that would work into your budget.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit. Build up. And me being a large family, you know, a family of 7, we had to do the build up.
Oh, sure.
It was a great way to go.
Yeah, I will tell you, most of our homes that we're building these days are ranches, and I don't know if we're all just getting older these days or not, but anyways, I say we're building probably 8 out of 10 homes are ranches these days that we're selling. But,
yeah, well, it creates a little bit more living space downstairs in the basement too. So yeah, it costs more, but you're also creating a little bit more basement space too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Advantage.